Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Tori Lynn. Let's blossom today. We're kind of getting into that time of year where it's still winter, but it's kind of starting to feel like spring. The weather's starting to be a little more sunny. We're just kind of feeling the spring vibes. And so I kind of want to do like a makeup look that's kind of transitioning from winter makeup to spring, because I feel like winter makeup, for me at least, is a lot more full glam. It's, you know, smoky eyes and darker red or darker nude lips. And then spring makeup is like light and dewy and lighter colors, more pinks and softer, just, you know, a lot less, if that makes sense. So I just kind of want to like create a look that kind of meshes the two. Maybe take the more glam from the winter and mesh it with the softer tones of the spring. I don't know. It's just kind of what I'm envisioning in my head. So I thought we could just sit down and have fun and create kind of a spring/winter look for this weird time of year. I feel like late February, early March is always kind of a weird time of year for me, where I don't know what I'm supposed to do, you know? Like, is it still winter? Is it spring? It's still cold, but the sun is out. Like, I don't know. I feel like all these mixed vibes, you know? So let's jump into it. I've already prepped my skin and got it ready. I want to use the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Sheer Foundation. I actually really like this foundation. I kind of bought it on a whim. I had seen lots of videos about it because it's been around for years, and I just wanted to try it out. And I actually really like it, and I love it because you can get a full coverage out of it if you put, you know, some good pressed powders over it, and some good concealers, or you could just set it down with some really sheer stuff and get a really nice natural skin finish. A lot like the Fenty Beauty, what is that foundation called? I can't remember. The Eavesdrop? I think it's Eavesdrop foundation. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this on. I'm just going to use a beauty blender to blend it out. And I do use a good amount of this on my face, which is probably the other reason why I can get a good coverage. But I feel like this foundation's great for this time of year because it can be a really sheer foundation if you want it to, or you can build it up to have a little more full coverage look to it. And so it's kind of got the best of both worlds. We're kind of, you know, crossing the line between those two. And honestly, it has a pretty good wear time on it. I wouldn't say it's like 12-hour or smudge proof or any of that, but it's got a good like 8-hour wear time on it. Maybe longer. I honestly don't know that I've really tested it, but I do know it wears pretty well, and it wears decently with the masks. It's not the best foundation I've had with masks, but it's definitely not the worst. See, like, look how nice that looks. Just so, like, glowy and smooth, and it just takes out all the imperfections of your skin. Now, in the dead of winter, if I was using this foundation, I would go through and build up a little extra coverage on my cheeks out here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep that a little bit sheer. And I'm going to take some concealer. I'm kind of debating between the two. I was originally thinking this Boing from Benefit, the Boing Cakeless Concealer, but it's running pretty low, so I think I'm just going to go in with my Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer. I do really like this one, and this does have a bit of transfer proofness to it, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop a little bit of that on. I use this in the shade 20NN, and the foundation, I forgot to say, I use in the shade W1. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. There is somebody doing lawn maintenance outside. This is the third day in a row we've had lawn maintenance. Yesterday, there was somebody cutting down a tree. And the day before there was somebody with a leaf blower. And now today they're mowing the lawn. So I'm really, really sorry if you guys can hear them. I'm gonna hope that they'll stay quiet enough. If they get too loud, I will stop and wait for them to hopefully pass. But anyways, I'm just gonna buff out the concealer. And I did my smile lines, and I don't know why, because it's not something I do every day. I just was thinking about the lawnmower guy and feeling irritated and went ahead and did it. And I don't think normally during the springtime I would do that. That is definitely a wintertime full glam thing. So, you know, there you go. Now, I am going to go ahead and bake. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. I have to bake my under eye if I have a liquid or cream product there, because it will crease. It will cake up in those creases. It will look so bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my Coty Translucent Airspun powder. This doesn't have any coverage to it because it's translucent. It's just a really great, cheap drugstore, not foundation. What is this? Setting powder, baking powder. I'm gonna pop that right up under the eye, getting right up into those creases. And I always kind of bring it all the way to the inner corner and then travel all the way up to the temple, all the way up that cheekbone. All right, now that I got those under eyes baking, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on my brows. And I also do my brows the same all year round. I don't change it up really. I have too wonky of brows to change it up. So I'm just going to take my Morphe micro brow pencil in the shade Latte, and I'm going to fill those brows out, and I'm going to do that off camera, so I will be right back. Alright, the lawnmower guy stopped for a few minutes, so I'm hoping that he is done. Hoping he will hold out till I'm done anyways. Because as soon as I turned the camera off so I could throw my brows on, he got really loud, and so then I just kind of had to sit here for a little while and hope that he eventually quit, because I was like, I cannot film with this. So anyways, now that my brows are on, let's go ahead and set my skin. I had to think about where I was at, what I was doing, because it's been a few minutes. So let's go ahead and just set the skin down. I've actually been loving this Becca light shifting finishing veil. Just a really, really soft setting powder. I'm thinking about what this was for a moment. My brain is all over the place now. Anyways, it just has a really nice soft look to it. Just kind of makes everything look velvety, if you will. It's not really matte or any of that, just velvety. Doesn't even really have any coverage to it, which is why I think it is great for this spring winter look. And I'm also going through and sweeping away the excess baking, and I'm just gonna go ahead and set my lids down as well. That was someone's car. I was like, oh no, not again, but just someone's car. And when I'm sweeping away my baking, I actually a lot of times like to take a little bit of product on my brush and sweep away the baking with the product. I feel like it kind of sweeps away the extra loose powder and replaces it and sets it down with a little bit of pressed powder instead. So now my skin just has a really nice, soft, like velvety finished look to it. I'm gonna go ahead and bronze up, and I'm gonna use my NARS Diffused bronzer today. This is in the shade Seaside. Now in the winter I usually do a more sculpted look versus just an all over bronzed look, so I think we'll kind of stick with that. So I'm just gonna pop this right under the cheekbones. And I went with this bronzer just because, one, I really like it, and two, it's a little bit softer. It's not quite as heavy as like my Hoola bronzer. It's not as strong a product, so it's going to give us that softer, more natural spring look. So we're kind of mixing the technique of a winter look and the products of a spring look here. So I'm just going to kind of go along the edges of the forehead, down the temples. Gotta conceal and chisel out that double chin. Just kidding, my double chin ain't concealable. And then before I set the bronzer aside, get rid of it, we're going to contour the nose real quickly because I can't not contour my nose. Alright, now we're going to go in with a really bright colored blush because it feels very springy to me. This one I haven't used in a while, but this is one of my absolute favorites. This is the Milani Rose Blush in the shade Coral Cove. I have had this blush for a long time, but I used to use it literally every single day. And I'm going to go ahead and really kind of blush up my cheeks. Really focus it on the apples of the cheeks because I like a good like sun-kissed, you know, peachy, corally, rosy cheek. I don't know. I just do enjoy a good blushed up cheek during, well, really all times of the year, let's be honest. And then I'm even going to take it kind of up over the bridge of the nose. Just like that. Just looks so like sun-kissed and like, I don't know. I just really like it. I love that look. Okay. Now let's throw a little highlight on there. And we're actually going to throw a lot of highlight on because we want to start looking some glowy, some dewy, you know, get that natural glow going. And during the springtime, I would go for either a gold or more warm tone. So we're going to go for this Becca highlight. This is Prosecco Pop. It's one of my OG faves. I love this highlight for years. I have purchased this highlight several times because I really, really like it. I think it's stunning. But that's like golden, beautiful. I know a lot of people love Champagne Pop from them, which I do like Champagne Pop. But this one I just love because it's hard to find a golden toned highlight that's not too dark for my skin tone. My fingers are a little on the chin. I'm really focusing on those cheekbones. I'm going to throw a little on the brow bone and then up the side of the temple. Then the nose and the forehead. Really kind of glow us up. Now let's jump into the eyes. I'm going to use, this is the ColourPop Ticket to Dreamland palette. I got this for Christmas and I haven't used it a whole lot, but it's a really pretty palette. I honestly think it's a really pretty springtime palette. I love all the pastel kind of Eastery colors. So I think I'm going to start by taking this cream color called Come All, and I'm going to pop that in the crease. This should give us just a really faint bit of dimension in the crease. Last summer, or last spring I should say, oh, I just dunked my nail into the black shade. Made a mess. Anyways, last year in April, like, our weather turned really warm really fast, which is kind of unusual for our area. We live in Oregon and it usually doesn't get like 80, 90, 100 degrees until June. And it started getting into the 80s, 90s. I don't think it really hit 100 until June, but it was like 80s and 90 degrees every day starting like, I don't know, mid to late April. And so I was able to get a really good tan last year, and I'm really kind of hoping that happens again because I miss my tan. Like, I look back at pictures and I didn't realize how tan I got. I mean, I knew I got tan, don't get me wrong, but like, look back at pictures now and I'm like, damn, I looked so good tan. I miss that tan. So I'm kind of hoping that here in a few months the weather will get warm again and we can get that tan going. Now I want to take this shimmery, really, really warm, cocoa-y brown called Walking Dream. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of that in the crease, kind of on the outer portion. I don't want to go too dark with this look. Ooh, it's very pigmented. Well, what do I expect? This is ColourPop. Of course it's pigmented. I don't want to go too dark with this look. I also don't want to go too colorful. Springtime, yeah, I want to go real colorful. Winter, I normally would go real dark, and I would take maybe, definitely this dark brown, but maybe even this black. So I'm just going to take that shade and I'm going to kind of give it a little bit of a feathered out, kind of wing it out. Just drag it out over that brow bone a little bit, just extend it out. I think that's pretty. And then I want to soften those edges of it, so I'm just going to take a good blending brush and just soften it up. This is when I'll take the time to kind of drag it towards the inner corner a little bit, drag that shadow towards the lash line a little bit, because I really didn't. You can see on this side, I kind of left a little bit of a gap, but we're just going to kind of bring it all around, just soften it up. I've been listening to the 10 spot on my Sirius XM radio in my car recently, and last night on my way home, they played Bad Liar by Selena Gomez, and now it's stuck in my head. Which I like the song, don't get me wrong, it's a good song, but like, stuck in my head, it just keeps going on in a loop of the parts that I actually remember. So that I definitely put a little more pigment down than I was wanting. It's a little bit darker than the other side, and I like the look of this side better, so I'm gonna try to go back over and keep blending, and hopefully we can work some of that product out of there. Sometimes you can't, sometimes you can. Actually, I do feel like that helped a little bit. Now, because they're going kind of springy, I think I want to take the lightest shimmery shade. If I was going winter, full winter, I'd go for that true gold, but I'm going to take that light shimmer. It's called Come One, and we're going to pop it on the lid. ColourPop has the best shimmer shadows for working with brushes. Like, not everybody's shimmer shadows work with brushes, and ColourPops do. And I love that because I prefer to work with a brush if I can. I'm going to pop that same shade on the inner corner, and I'm going to kind of bring it up the inside of the eye socket there a little bit. Follow the arch of that nose arch up to the brow bone, I guess what you call that. Whatever that bone's called, I don't know. My brain's not working today. I'll follow that, really fan it out. It's gonna make that inner corner really pop. It's gonna make your eyes appear bigger. I love that. It's just like this with a, if it had just a little bit more dark in it, and the corners would be like a total like winter smoky glam eye, but with the skin it's starting to look a little more springtime. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it down. I'm just gonna use my everyday Your Skin But Better setting spray from IT Cosmetics, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw on a lash, and then we'll come back and we'll throw on a lip, and we'll finish off this look together. Alright, the lashes are on. Ties the eye look together, so let's go ahead and throw on a lip. I am thinking something a little more pink, because I usually do like a dark nude or a dark red, so I'm thinking something a little bit brighter, a little more pink, a little bit lighter, something like that. So I pulled out this Kylie lip liner. This is in the shade Sweater Weather. It's a really pretty, like, I don't know, pink color. I think I want to take this, and then I want to line like the outer portion of my lips with that, and then pop this nude cream lipstick in the center, and I think it'll soften up and make a really pretty lip look. I don't know, we'll see. That's kind of what I'm envisioning. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this lip liner on. So I lined my lips. I almost have like a little heart situation going on in the middle. Wasn't exactly what I intended, but like, I don't think that's how it's going to look in the end. So I'm going to take, this is Clarice from the ColourPop Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer collection. I was expecting it to look a little more pink than that turned out, so I have one more thought, because I want it to be, this is pretty, but this feels very, it's a little darker than I thought. I thought it was going to look pinker, softer. It's pretty, but not what I was thinking. So, one more thing I want to try. I want to throw some of this Ish Hydra Gloss in the shade Luster on top. Still a little dark. Still a little darker than I was wanting. So I'm going to take this NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade, which one is this one? A Satin Ribbon. Thinking that maybe because the lip liner was just not as pink as what I had envisioned. I thought I had a pinker lip liner. Maybe this with that gloss on top. Still not what I was envisioning, but I do like it. I was envisioning this, like, I don't know, not bubblegummy pink, but just a pinker lip. But it's pretty. I like it. It does feel more spring. The lip's a little heavier than I wanted now with all those layers too. I was hoping for something a little bit softer, which is why I wanted to use that cream lipstick instead of a liquid lipstick, but it's alright. Overall, I think this look is pretty. It does have some spring vibes. It does still have a little bit of the winter glam look to it. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this look down below. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.